it's over. The United States is back on top.
It's unique because it's the best two countries in the world, and we've been at that level for 30 years.
We're both really fast and strong, and that's what makes it such a physical game. We have such talent, such skillful players.
Canada and US are on the top of the pyramid, and we always hear that the other countries are trying to catch up, and are we closing the gap? Are we closing the gap?
You know, it's funny because a lot of us, the players, the staff, we're all kind of friends off the ice, but on the ice, it's just a complete battle.
I think other countries think that we hate each other, and off the ice we're enemies, and it's the pure opposite. We collaborate. There's a lot of friendships between the two countries. There's a whole lot of respect, but it just turns on as soon as you put the uniform on, as soon as you get to the rink. Coming from a player or a GM, that feeling never goes away, and that pride in representing your country is the same feeling.
It always used to be just our teams, you know, carrying that torch.
Any given night, anyone could win. You never know who's going to come out on top. It's 50-50 every night. It's so competitive. There's so much pride on the line, but also so much respect, which I think makes it unique.
Women's sports is just incredible, and it's growing, and we're getting great exposure. And I think that, you know, our teams and our two competitions, Rivalry Series, World Championships, all of that is only going to help that exposure, and hopefully more little girls wanting to lace up the skates.
It's really exciting to see the opportunities that are coming about. Not just for the athletes, but for staff members now that are becoming professional equipment managers and professional coaches and professional referees. It's just the ecosystem of women's hockey is growing. The game is growing. People are really getting to know our game and really getting to see how great and how fast it is and how competitive it is. You know, all around there's just an incredible sense of pride that we are where we are. There's an excitement for what's to come with our women's game, and to be even a part of it is just it's an incredible honor. So there's a lot of emotion that comes with where we are and with the women's game, and knowing where we've come from, and just the excitement of where we're going. I think there's a lots to come. The next chapters in the women's game are going to be really exciting.
I tell leadership here at USA Hockey that we can't be complacent. We gotta continue pushing the envelope, and there's a lot of countries that are chasing us. One of those is Czechia. They're knocking on the door with all of their young players. And if you look at U18 results, we were in the gold medal game with them. They're knocking on our door for sure, and we can't be complacent.
And I always remind people that we're continuing to push the pace. We're not done growing this game. We're not done seeing how good these women could become even. It's a bit of our responsibility between Canada and US to continue to push the pace and remind the rest of the world that as much as we want that gap to close, we're not going to slow down. We're here to grow this game. We're here to see how far we can bring the women's game, and we're going to take that responsibility really seriously.
The rivalry between US and Canada is something that is very difficult to describe. Even though they play together, they've grown up, some of them even playing college together, all bets are off when you throw on the colors for your country. I was amazed by it in my first game in Denmark. Even though it was an exhibition game, I was like, oh, this is a little bit different than what I expected. There's a respect level, but at the same time, there's a bit of deep-rooted disdain, I would say, at ice level. Yeah, the Rivalry is actually a really interesting series for us right now because we changed so much throughout the series. I mean, in game one, you go from players really haven't played any games, are professional players, and you've got the college players integrated into your systems, and so you're trying to pick up with where you left off last April. Then you start to make a little bit of progress with that group, and the rivalry gets heated into December. And then for us, the script completely changes in regard to we drop out a dozen or so NCAA players, and then we introduce a slew of pro players, and then your identity changes completely at that juncture. So it's sort of like almost like 3 different series all within one 7-game stretch of what everyone would like to call, you know, a championship or a trophy at the end. For us, it's a challenge, but it's one that definitely reveals different things, and each game sort of sets a different storyline for us.
For Worlds in the lead up, it's not looking too far ahead, taking these Rivalry Series games as opportunities to get better as a team and as a unit. Just sticking with the opportunities in front of us. When Worlds come, we'll know that we've done everything we can to prepare and put ourselves in a position to do our best and bring home gold. But for now, it's the day-to-day. It's the being locked in the weight room, or whether we're out on the ice shooting pucks or in practice, and then these Rivalry Series games. If we can find little areas to get better as a group and individually, we're gonna set ourselves up pretty good going into this tournament.
John Roboleski has a much different lineup here. Look at both squads here, and there are no college players in these games. Something to look at, an evaluation tool as well for Roboleski, and you can see the shifting of his lineup. He's got Maureen Murphy with Comfer and Gilmore on that 4th line as well.
Nice in, good in.
Zumwinkle jumps on the puck, feeds it to the point. Set back down deep into the zone for Kelly Panic. 2 assists for her so far in the Rivalry Series. Looking net front, a shot, and it's in! United States has opened the scoring.
Grace, how important was it for not only you guys to get on the board first, but to do it early in this game?
Yeah, I think we focused on having a quick start, and I think scoring in the first 5 minutes was super helpful for our team and definitely set us up for a good first period.
You got her.
Abby Hughes now on the outside, out in front, trying to feed Abby Rock. Rock to Flanagan, who sends it deep into the zone. Hughes looking for a touch pass out in front. Rock jumps on it. Now Hughes, she scores! Gabby Hughes with the go-ahead goal. It's 2-1 for the United States. To the point, Keller lets the shot go as we enter the final minute here in this 3rd period. Canada with a 1-goal lead, and Stacey will just feed it all the way down. Will it be in? And she scores! Laura Stacey from her own end gives Canada the insurance goal, and Team Canada walk away a 4-2 victory.
We, for the most part, scratched and clawed our way through that game, and you will come out on top in this series if we get that consistent from everybody 60 minutes.
Anytime we're playing Canada in Canada, we always know the crowd's going to be loud and not many U.S. fans in the building, but we always take that with a lot of heart and try and finish these games out. And we were up 3-0 last time, dropped all 4, so we just got to find a way to close the game out here.
Canada seems like they're really getting the job done by committee.
They certainly are. 16 different skaters have tallied a point for Canada. That just shows the depth of the Canadian team and the versatility that each one of the players has out there. The U.S. is probably missing at least 8 or 9 players that can eventually make this squad. The Canadian team, maybe only Sarah Fillier is a big name, big gun that is missing. This might be their team going to the World Championships.
Well, the Rivalry Series shifts to Regina. The Americans looking to close this thing out in Canada. Gabby Hughes, who scored a goal last game, feeling loose. She's grooving.
Canada completed the reverse sweep last year, but hey, Kendall Coyne Schofield wasn't there.
She wasn't there, but she is here, and you can see the smile on her face, but you got to watch her if you're a defender because she can move.
Comes Gabby Hughes. Hughes drops the shoulder out in front. Comes Heise. By Shelton in front. What a chance. Oh my goodness. Gabby Hughes, net front where she does her best work.
No way Stacey gets that puck from you right there. Balance that, right?
Only 10 seconds to go in the second period. As Emma Malte heads back the other way. Malte, a battle of time. Her shot just wide. As we still await our first goal here in Regina.
Okay, need Carpenter's line, and then Meg, Sav, and Abby, real quick, just for a this initial play off the face-off. As soon as it crosses the blue line, Knight finds this, and hopefully Taylor finds this, and all we're looking for is one of these two options. All right, it can work if we execute. Okay. All right, let's go.
Yep, come on.
Who landed the first side? Spooner lets it go. She scores! Natalie Spooner has opened the scoring on the power play for Team Canada. Clark will try again. Backhand shot. She'll score! Nurse gets a shot off and she'll score! And that will do it for us here in Regina. An outstanding third period push by Team Canada will force a Game 7 Rivalry Series deciding game in Minnesota.
You played like winners tonight. You really did. You played like winners tonight. We came up here to win one game. And on Sunday, it's gonna come to fruition. Right? You're gonna play your best game again. That's it. Let's get on this plane and get out of here.
Well, no better place for Game 7 of the Rivalry Series than in St. Paul, Minnesota. The state of hockey, it is Team Canada against the United States. Of course, Team Canada completed the reverse sweep in last year's Rivalry Series, clinching that Game 7 game in Laval, Quebec. But Emma Malte all alone. Malte looking for a play as she'll hold on and cut back. Jenner calls for it in front. Ashton Bell, and she'll score. Ashton Bell making this a 3-0 game for Team Canada.
That away, Scams.
Davier comes out to play the puck and loses the battle. A chance for the United States, and they'll score short-handed. And it's Grace Zumwinkle in her home rink of PWHL Minnesota is on the board for the United States.
Well, Grace Zumwinkle, you get on the board here, and a great play against Renee Devier. What were you thinking when she had that puck?
I think I was just thinking pressuring hard. I mean, we were down 3-0 at the time, and I think just forechecking and getting in their face is what we needed at the end of the day.
And you've got a 3-goal deficit here, and likely on a 5-on-3 power play to start the third period. What do you have to do to chip away and get back in this game?
I think first and foremost, getting one early, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but I think that'll just give us some jump for the rest of the third period. Hopefully we can put a few more in after that.
Thanks, Grace. Have a great third.
Turn it up! Turn it up!
Emma Malte with room. Malte all alone. Emma Malte on the forehand. She'll shoot. She'll score. Emma Malte makes it 5-1 for Team Canada. Spooner in front. Malte backhand. She scores. Malte does it again. A beautiful play in the crease. That will do it. 2 years in a
won the Rivalry Series.
Team Canada 6, Team USA 1.
A bit of a precursor for what is to come, as I think that the landscape of the United States will be very different with a ton of college players.
Just trying to find words because I don't like being redundant, and we're in the same place we were last year, obviously. Sometimes hockey's not fair, and you just got to put yourselves back into that. My message is two things. One, I'm proud of the way that we fought all the way to the end. I am. There was no quit, and you scratched and you clawed and you did everything you could all the way to the end. The next thing is that now you have a month and change, and it's devoting yourself to your trade and your recovery constantly. And it's got to be about that focus. You've got to be present with where you're at. You need to get back to that gold medal standard, that winning standard. We got to recover like a gold medalist. You got to live like a gold medalist. Even on days when you're not feeling it, you got to find that edge to be your best version of that day, all right? Because we want to find that edge come late March into mid-April, okay?
We can be really proud with the way that we fought through. It's like a lot of bumps in that game. But everyone kept going when it was their job to step up and go. And it's only going to make us stronger in the spring. So whatever you have to do in our own markets, those extra reps, taking care of yourself, whatever that may be, know that this team is in the back of your mind at all times. And we're ready to go when puck drops this spring.
It's going to be an awesome World Championship tournament in Utica come April. I feel like it only makes sense for us to play GM here a little bit. Now, obviously, things might change depending on, obviously, health of players, how players are competing and playing within their respective leagues, also in the NCAA and the PWHL. But for what we know right now, what would the U.S. roster look like for us, Megan Bozek? Because there are a lot of NCAA players that are not dressed in this rivalry series right now.
I think Team USA's roster will look drastically different. They have a lot of time to prove themselves and to find their jam. Everyone goes through spurts of maybe not playing their best, but there's a lot leading up to World, which is great for these players.
So selection camp, it's an elite high-performance camp that it's an honor to get that invitation. Around 40 of the top players in the U.S. that will compete for 23 spots to go to World Championships. We'll also bring 2 alternates with us, so the roster will be made up of 25 players. We'll be in Lake Placid for 3 inter-squad scrimmages where we'll evaluate all the players and, again, choose that roster of 25 that then we feel is the best combination of players to go win that gold medal.
I would say the difference between this year's camp and last year's camp is we are coming back as reigning world champions. So there's a component of satisfaction to that we want to continue to grow. So we feel like there might be a spot of a foundation that's built, and now we want to grow up from that. However, we need to make sure that all points of that foundation are in order. So certain players need to validate their position within that, and there's a lot of young players here or inexperienced players that are making a strong case for their part in a major piece of that foundation.
At that point, you're trying to find combinations that work, or it's a lot more fine-tuning than just like what is each player capable of. I think throughout the Rivalry Series, you're trying to display like your individual strengths and how you can fit that into the team puzzle. And I think once you hit the selection camp, it's fine-tuning even that much more.
Whether you're in college or you're playing pro, you don't know when, how, if they're watching or if they're evaluating or what they think of your play. You just kind of wait. You got to focus on what you can control. That's your play. That's your work ethic. That's your attitude. The attention to detail. That's what it takes to be on the team.
I'd be speechless. I mean, it would be an amazing opportunity. Like every time you put on that jersey, it is like an opportunity that you'll never forget, no matter how many times you get to put it on or when the moment is or whatever, but obviously getting that opportunity would be unreal and something that I would never forget.
It's always a huge honor, but being able to make it back-to-back years would be amazing. I think I'm really finding my space with the group. I love the team and I love playing for the girls next to me, so if I get that chance, I think it'll be really fun.
Lining up at the face-off against Hilary Knight was that was amazing. I mean, I was so excited but so nervous because she's my idol, and to have the possibility to play alongside her at a World Championship doesn't feel real. It's nerve-wracking but very exciting because she's a legend, a Wisconsin legend, and a USA Hockey legend.
I think that getting back on that roster for me would be pretty special. Being on the 22 Olympic team is everything I dreamed of, but being left off that last World's roster is something that I think about every single day. And to be able to get back on that roster is something that I dream of and I'm working really hard towards, so it would be extra special for me.
Honestly, I'd be kind of shocked, but also so excited. It's kind of a moment that I've been working for my whole life, and just being invited to camps are amazing. But yeah, if I got to hear my name called for that roster, it'd be extremely special. I'd be so surprised, but so excited, and I think I'd be ready for the challenge. If I don't make the team, it'll be disappointing, but I also recognize that who I am as a player and a person wouldn't change based on if my name is on that roster or not, and so I don't think I can let my name on the roster change what I view of myself.
It can be stressful and it's definitely intimidating, but once you make that roster, it's all worth it.
I think that's one thing people don't necessarily understand. Like, you see a lot of players that are on the roster consistently. You see Hilary Knight on every roster, but Hilary Knight still has to earn her spot at every single camp, at every single roster.